Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Real Red Talk, your favourite football fan channel. It is Monday, the start of the week, the day that everybody hates. But luckily for content consumers, we've got a banger of a show today. After all the drama and the action from the Premier League over the weekend, we're going to discuss some very hot topics in regards to VAR, referee decisions, officials assaulting players, handballs not given, and basically just refs fucking up, essentially. We've got a stupid Jamie Carragher tweet to go through as well with the lads, and we're going to put that to bed. And we've got a little bit of topical news as well. So if you're new to the show or just enjoy the show in general, enjoy the content in general, make sure you smash a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. We've got Sam, Chivet, and Aaron on the show today. Can't wait to get into this one, lads. How are we all doing? Thumbs up, thumbs down. I don't want to go. Yeah. Oh, triple. Fantastic. That's what you want to see. All right, let's just go straight into it. Don't want to mess about. The games over the weekend, some of the decisions made, some of the stuff that went on, it's been absolutely frantic and it's been hectic over Saturday and Sunday. So we'll start with the Spurs and Brighton game. Now, Brighton have been mugged off a fair few times this season, and I know Goldbridge mentioned this in one of his shows on the United Stand the other day, that the smaller teams seem to be getting less and less decisions, and more people are noticing as well, like in certain scenarios. There was a couple debatable in this game specifically, and there was definitely one penalty, in my opinion, that should have been given. So we'll start off with that. Brighton have a corner kick, falls to Matoma on the bounce. Højbjerg misreads the situation, completely stamps on his foot, and the referee, Stuart Atwell, is right in front, literally like yards away from the decision. And he straight away goes, nope, decision, definitely not a foul, continued play. What do we think about that decision specifically first? Sam, I'll go to you first. Clear penalty?
Scandalous. Absolute scandalous. Steps on his foot, trips him, goes down. 100% penalty. No doubt. I don't understand. Why the referee's not giving it, and then even worse, why the VAR's not looking and go, okay, ref's got that wrong. That's a clear penalty. I don't. In what world is it not a penalty? I don't understand it. I really don't. No. I don't get it. The referee knew it was a penalty. VAR knows it's a penalty. I think the Tottenham player knew it was a penalty because the way he reacted, he was like, oh, I fucked up here. I've messed up. Yeah. I've cost us a penalty and wasn't given. I'm not a conspiracy theory guy. Like, I'm really not. I'm a facts and figures measured guy. But it's getting to the point now where I'm like, they don't want these teams like Wolves, Villa, Brighton, Brentford. They don't want him in the top six. They want to keep him out and keep this cash cow going because Brighton have been screwed over at least 4 times the last couple of games in VAR decisions, referee decisions. Wolves have been screwed over a couple of times against Liverpool. I remember with was it a handball? They got offside. And they drew the line crooked, didn't they? Like, they drew it.
Yeah, they were like two decisions in that game. And it's just, I think they had 2 goals cancelled.
Yeah.
Or they had a goal cancelled and then like an offside goal allowed for Liverpool.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. And then they had one the weekend just gone that was like chalked off as well. So it's just like, I really don't get it at this point. VAR is just, it's out of control. And then they go, oh, we've issued apologies. What the fuck's apology going to do? You've cost them top 4. You've cost them.
It's already done now, isn't it?
You've cost them. You've cost them money because Champions League and that is worth £200 million. So you've cost them a shit ton of money, which to Brighton is an absolute fuck ton of money. Like, that saves them as a club for a long time. And you've cost them the opportunity to be in the Champions League, which they may not have had they not like played themselves into position. You've cost them that. So what the fuck's an apology going to do? I don't understand it. And it's just, I'm getting to the point now where VAR just needs to be off for offsides and goal line technology. That's it. Everything else, just fuck it in the bin now. I'm done with it. I'm absolutely done with it.
It is getting a bit mad because Aaron, even considering there's people in a room looking at this. So if it happens the first time off, even though we stood 5 yards away from it, you can say, right, you can, it sometimes it happens. It was in a flash. You might have not seen certain specifics. But when people are looking at that in a room, 4 people looking at it and all of them come to the conclusion where it's like, no, it doesn't need to go back to it. That's weird, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like, do you remember the referee was it Mark Halsey or something he was called? So, old Premier League referee.
I don't know.
He's on Talk Sport, Hawksby and Jacobs quite a bit, and he hates VAR, hates everything about it. And he says, like, they haven't got the right people running it. he said they have a certain clique like of old referees, and he said, and they're the sort of people that get in. He said himself, he's named a few others, and he said they should be in alongside a former player, and they get two perspectives. He said they both can watch it, make a quick decision, and get back, because I don't know who's making these decisions, man. I'm watching that penalty now, like on loop, and he's come down, he's took his standing foot, like straight away, even as he's touching him. Højbjerg's put his hand up like that. He's definitely done something wrong.
Yeah.
I just don't know how it can be watched and reviewed so much and not been given. I think they're scared sometimes. It becomes controversial because they don't want to be controversial, so they don't want to change it, I think. So they stick to the guns to look like they know what they're doing, but it's like they've made the wrong decision.
And in regards to Champions League as well, too, that's obviously massive in it, because Spurs getting them 3 points, which I don't think they deserve, because there's many other decisions that we need to get into. But that specifically, that could be a turning point, couldn't it? That you look back at the end of the season and you think, if we won that game, could be 3 points in it. Like Brighton get Champions League, completely changes the whole landscape, doesn't it?
Yeah, at this point of the season, like every point matters, and that was a big 3 points for them. But you know what, football sometimes it works in funny ways. Like, you know, we'll see what happens in the next couple of games. Maybe it would affect referees going forward, especially when it comes to Tottenham. Who knows? But like that was just terrible. I understand if the referee didn't get it like in real time, because in real time the way Mitoma jumped as well, it was kind of. I would understand if he kind of mistook that for a dive or whatever. But then, what's the point of then having VAR to review stuff like that and then come back and then not actually using it? Because VAR isn't really a problem. It's actually really good. It's just the way it's been run.
People using it.
The way it's been run. It's because it's brilliant. There's superb ideas, like, but then it's just the way it's been run, and that's terrible, and that's just so unfortunate with the way that happened. But
I think they're definitely going to have a look at it when the season ends. They're going to refine it and change a lot of things, because the way it's gone this season, it's been consistent. I heard the other day there was a team that hasn't received a penalty or something ridiculous all season or something. A team near the bottom. Can't remember which one it was, but it's just absolutely madness. There was another one for Brighton as well. The set piece where they put it into the box. Clement Longley puts both hands on Dunk and drags him down. Very dangerous decision to grab with both hands and very risky decision, Sam. But that still doesn't get given. Your thoughts on that one?
Again, penalty. There's always a bit of RG sort of going on in the boxing, and people grab shirts or people jostling for position, which is part of football. That's fine. I get that, a little bit of sort of jostling. But the fact that he puts both hands on his shirt and yanks him down, it's a penalty. It's a penalty. I don't care what you are. If there's a bit of both of them are grabbing each other, or he's got one hand and he's trying to jostle to get in front of him, I can see where the ambiguity lies in there, and the referee might have a tough decision, then gives the benefit of the doubt. But on that, I don't see where the ambiguity is. He's two hands on his shirt and he's yanked him down to the floor. Do players make a meal of it when stuff happens? Absolutely, because that's part of the game. Sadly, I don't like it, but it's part of the game. But it's a penalty. In the rules of the law, it's a foul, so it should be a penalty. Again, I don't know what they're waiting for. I think VAR has give the referees the comfort blanket of, I don't have to make a decision here because VAR will clear it up. And then when it goes to VAR are like, oh well, we don't want to be responsible for getting it wrong, so we're not going to make a decision. We'll hide behind the referee's decision. So nobody's making a fucking decision, and the only people who pay for it is the teams and the players. They're the ones who pay for it. So it's beyond a joke now, and I just think they need retraining in how to use these tools. Like Chivy said, VAR as a system works. We've seen it work. We saw it work in the World Cup. We've seen it work across Europe and other leagues.
In every other league.
Yeah, works in other leagues. We know it works as a tool. It's perfectly fine. But the people running ours are clearly idiots or clearly not competent enough to use it. So they either need retraining or they need new people involved in order to use the system, because it's out of control at this point.
Well, we've got 4 people here right now on this show who all agreed straight away, just looking at it, saying, yeah, that's a penalty. Now, we're not officials. We've not had any training or whatever, but just looking at it, it is especially the first one. It's clear as day.
The Lewis Dunk one, I'm not as up in arms about that one because I think the line's so blurred on that because, you know, I'm not going to sit here and lie, mate. The amount of times Harry Maguire, Chris Smalling was bad for grabbing.
Exactly.
He was terrible for doing that and got away with it so much. Martin Skirtle was one for Liverpool, used to do it every time. Yeah. So it's like that. They need to be more consistent on that because I've seen so many players get away with it to the point where it's like the players don't really think it's an issue. They think you can do that. You know what I mean? It's like that needs to be clamped on, whether they're more lenient on it or they're harsh on it, because didn't one get given against Maguire? Was it this season or last season?
I was just about to say McTominay got given one against him where he dragged someone down from a corner, if we all remember. And this is what we're asking for, consistency. Like, if you're going to give that, then you have to give the one Lenglet. Do you know what I mean? In the box, but they don't give that. So then the lines get blurred. Then that's the issue.
The handball.
Saying that's fine if you want to stick to that, and you know if it's not, you know, if people are wrestling in the box and you want to leave it, that's fine. But do that in every game. Don't just do it in specific games because then there will be arguments.
Do you remember
the way it's going to go? Do
you remember last year with Middlesbrough, the handball decision like they had?
Yeah.
And literally the week later, the same thing happened in the City game, didn't it? The exact same thing.
What was the one this season where, was it Sancho tried to play it across, or was it Rashford tried to play it to Weghorst? And who was it that had the handout on? They were basically on the floor.
Yeah, they was leaning down on the floor, weren't they?
Southampton.
Yeah.
Southampton.
Yeah, it might Southampton. I think it was.
Yeah,
I think you're right. Yeah. And then obviously we went on to draw that game because I think. But yeah, look, these I don't want to spend too long on this because there's many decisions, and obviously Chivy add on to that if you want. But Mitoma had a goal ruled out for handball, touches the Premier League badge on the shirt, so around here. Is that goal ruled out correctly? Is that the correct decision? Chivy, I'll start with you on that.
I think it's a 50-50 on that one. I'm not entirely.
It's hard, isn't it?
That's a hard one because the angles that I saw, it wasn't really zoomed in because I just watched the highlights. I didn't watch like the game itself. So
yeah,
in the highlights, like the angles didn't really zoom in, so you could see in real time it did look like a handball. And another thing was that he didn't celebrate when he scored. He just literally just jogs back, almost as if he kind of knew it was a handball. So that was another thing that maybe might have played on the referee's mind as well. But then he kind of looked in this area. Now I've seen those given and I've seen those chalked off. Yeah. Who knows? So
it's 50-50 that, isn't it? It's 50-50 like you can't.
What's your interpretation of it though? Like if you was the ref on that day and you had to blow the whistle and give the decision, what would you give?
I'd ask them on the thing, on the VR.
They're gonna be like, I don't know either, mate.
They ain't giving you a decision.
I'll go with what they say because it depends. I don't remember the referee's position on that one, where he was. I don't think he was in a position to be able to give a handball.
No, but go look at the screen then, innit? And then decide for yourself.
So but then if I was the one to go look at the screen,
it's hard.
I'll give it a go. I'll give it a go.
I think so as well.
Yeah, I'll give it a go.
What the old rule? The old rule
clear
is
and obvious.
Yeah,
on it under the sleeve.
The old rule is benefit of the doubt to the attacker. If you're not sure, you give it to the attacker, isn't it? That's the old rule. So
it wasn't blatant, if anything. So,
sure, back in the day, it used to be like, I'm talking back in the day, I'm talking about like 2010 and stuff like that. I'm sure it used to be like, if it was your shoulder, then it would be all right. I think it was more like, below your sleeve type. I think that's fine. Because you can obviously, if a ball's coming down and you hit it like that, it's not a ball.
Well, Canate yesterday, we're going to touch on the Liverpool game shortly, but the way he kind of chested that into like the one that got cleared off the line, that was like shoulder-esque. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Giggsy used to do it. Giggsy used to do it all the time, didn't he? Like, when he'd get the ball with a knock on, he'd use his shoulder to knock it in front of him when it'd come over the top and leg it on. Yeah. So it's like, I don't see him.
Ryan Giggs.
All right.
Yeah. We've got another handball to discuss as well. So Brighton score for a piece of excellence from Danny Welbeck. The ball bounces off his teammate McAllister, but his arm was tucked in, and it looks like he bounces off his hip and then grazes his arm and goes in. So they blow it up. Well, the last point of contact was off his arm, and it's gone in, and that's swayed the keeper. Unlucky but right decision or wrong decision? Like Sam, I'll go with you first.
Wrong decision. Hits his hip, and his arm's against him. He's not got it out. So it's not in an obvious position. It's in next to his body, and it's hit his hip, and it's rolled, and it's onto his arm. So I don't understand what he's supposed to do. He's not going to control the ball and put his hands behind his back and then try and, you know what I mean? Like, he's not going to be able to do that. So it's if it does hit his hand, I can't from the angles that have been shown, I can't tell if it actually hits his arm or not. I haven't seen an angle where it's clear.
I think it grazes.
Yeah,
like,
there's no angle.
First, and then literally a tiny graze.
There's no angle where I see where it clearly hits his arm. The only thing I can see, it hits his hip. And if it hits his hip and I can't tell absolutely that it touches his arm, you give it as a goal. And I don't understand why it was chalked off. For me, that, again, major mistake from them. I don't understand why that wasn't given a goal.
I was just going to say, like, what's he supposed to do? Because he's literally made himself as small as possible. You could see he's clearly trying to get his arm out the way. Like, what's he supposed to do? Like, just make it, like, cut his arm off? Or, like, it's there. There's nothing he can do about that. So, I think, for me, that was really harsh. Like, you know, he's doing everything he can to get his arm out the way and, you know, make his body as small as possible. But here's what it is.
Aaron, are you with the consensus on that? Have you got a different view?
Just thinking, and do you remember they always used to say about, it used to be, if your arm's in an unnatural position and that. But what's an unnatural position? Because they used to, when you jump, you use your arms, but they'd give a foul if you like clips. Obviously, you do a Fellaini or blatant like. But when you're just jumping or you're pressing up, I just think, what's unnatural about that? They're going to expect us soon to like be playing with your arms by your side and
quite literally.
Lissandro does
shorts or something.
Have you seen when Lissandro faces a block up? He literally does this. He puts his arms behind his back and just takes the ball, just so he doesn't have any ambiguity about it hitting the arms. It's ridiculous. He's a defender.
I watched the United game the other day, and Gary Neville was like about Lissandro, you should never be defending with your arms behind your back. Where's he meant to put him? If he has him by his side, he's in trouble.
Yeah.
Well, it happened in Sociedad, didn't it? When the game against them, when the handball got given, and that was literally he jumped into it, bounced off his thigh, and hit his hand, and then they give it. So the defenders, like, they're almost lost in what they have to do.
If I'm going to be nitpicky, I can understand why that one's chalked out more than the Matoma, because if it did touch his arm, it's going to be part of an arm that it shouldn't be touched. You know what I mean? Like a shoulder, I can argue.
Yeah, that one more. That's something I agree with, but I still think it's very, very harsh. Yeah, it's still, in my opinion,
pretty much bullshit that they didn't get a penalty. But
sorry, shoot my camera a little bit there. Just the last cherry on top of that game as well, as if they weren't as enough decisions and enough absolute bollocks going on. Both managers got sent off, but the Brighton manager, lads, if you're in his shoes, you're absolutely raging, aren't you? I know they say you should be professional and you should be doing this, and I know that's the angle, but come on. 3 or 4 massive decisions like this, when you're pushing for Champions League, you're doing an amazing job with Brighton, you're going to lose your shit, aren't you?
I'd be more pissed off if I was the Spurs manager. You didn't get involved. You stood there.
Yeah, he gets sent off.
But he's quite literally, like, he stood there in the arms on his back just like that, like, not even moving. But then it's like, I think it's because he's not controlling his staff that are behind him, so that's why he gets.
I can't win.
Yeah,
he did say some shit.
The Brighton manager.
He said some shit before the game, didn't he? To wind the Brighton manager up. He said, "You're playing on a previously plotted ground" or something like that. Basically referring to the fact that Graham Potter has built Brighton up to where it is, and he's come in and he's looked like a great manager, even though he's building it off success of Graham Potter. So he said that night his pre-match comments. So I think he was already like poking the bear, as it were. And they're both Italian, so you know they're not going to be quiet or calm about it. They're going to kick off. Yeah. So
he reminds me a bit like a villain out of a film. The Spurs manager. I don't know why. He just looks like an evil villain in a film. Am I the only one on that vibe?
It looks like a Disney villain, not like a film.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, absolutely. If you put him in a cartoon and put a bit of like angry brows on him, I'm telling you, recipe for a Disney villain. Right, so we'll push on from the Brighton game. I want to talk about Arsenal Liverpool as well. It was actually a fantastic game, in fairness. I really enjoyed watching it from a neutral perspective. But in that game, lads,
did you say neutral perspective?
Well, yeah.
There's nothing neutral. There's nothing neutral there.
I don't want Arsenal to win, and I don't want Liverpool to win. So
but you hate both of them.
I wanted a draw. Yeah, of course. But you know what I'm saying. Just let me continue. The assistant referee, Konstantin Hatzidakis, I think his name is, elbows Robertson in the neck. And lads, we know the relationship between match officials and players, especially recently with Mitrovic and Bruno Fernandes and that whole kind of debacle. What punishment should the referee serve? Because Mitrovic got, not the referee, the assistant, sorry, got an 8-game ban, didn't he? Mitrovic. Should Robertson be culpable as well? Like, how do we see that?
What's his address? Because I would like to send him something like a hamper or a bottle of whiskey. I don't know what his poison of choice is, but I will happily send him a nice bottle of something. I think he's
Greek, Sam.
Okay,
from his name,
Raki.
Greek,
Raki
so,
then. I'll send him a bottle of Raki. Yeah, I don't see what was wrong. I think totally fine. You want to elbow Scouser?
Totally
you want to elbow Scouser in the face? Not got a problem with it.
Yeah, from yours, but from like as I said before, which I'm definitely not, but from a neutral perspective.
Well, why don't we hear for Chivy? We hear for Chivy because he couldn't bear to watch the game. Apparently, he couldn't take it.
What
about the elbow?
What did it look? What was it intentional? Like this is the thing. Sorry. Who was the aggressor? Was it? Because it looks like it was a referee who actually initiated like.
Well, Robertson was kind of tugging at him and bothering him a bit, and he kind of it looked like it was a bit of a snap reaction, like he was like kind of get off kind of thing.
Yeah.
It was like fuck off.
And then it was just a whole commotion of just like he's just elbowed me, he's just elbowed me.
So apparently what they've said is he has been removed from his position, right? I don't know what the fuck that means. Whether it means he's been suspended or he's been sacked, or it just says
holiday with pay, hopefully.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In another league.
Yeah, but if I think if he was suspended, they would say we've suspended him from such and such. But then to be removed, I think it's a lot more serious. It looks like that sounds like maybe he's not.
I think that's quite harsh though, because I think if a player does it, they get an 8-game ban. Like Mitrovic was basically like it looked like a UFC match. You could put an octagon around them, and he was about to swing. Like, he was about to go.
Shortly after as well.
He gets an 8-game ban, but then an assistant gets removed. I'm like.
Shortly after as well, once he did that, and then Robertson was coming up to him. Jordan Henderson then puts both hands on the ref. Yeah. He puts both hands on him. So I was like, well, is that not against the rules as well? Like, because everybody was going on and on about Bruno pushing the assistant out of the way. Mitrovic gets an 8-game ban. Jordan Henderson put both hands on him. So is that not a ban as well? Like, where do you draw the line? At what point do we just go like that? Shah Sam's in the chat. Real Reds Ultra, give the assistant a pay rise. I agree, mate. I agree.
Love it. Aaron, do you want to chip in on that situation?
Yeah, if I'm being down the middle, he's definitely elbowed him straight up. There's no excuse in that.
I love how he's laughing. He's laughing as he says it.
Yeah.
Yeah, mate, it's worth losing your job for that, isn't it? 100%.
Yeah.
Nah, I don't know. I don't know how referees get punished. Like, if he's not lost his job, it's got to be a suspension, and they're to set the example. So I don't know if they should be clamped down on harsher. You know what I mean? Because they're there to set the example to the players. So.
I think you get a lot on
Aaron don't give a shit. Aaron just does not care.
Yeah, let's move on. We're happy he got elbowed, but yeah, he probably should get something anyway, suspended, or maybe he already has been, like Chivy touched on. What about the game itself? I wanted to discuss. Very, very, very good game. Had everything you need from it. Did each team get what they deserved? Were Liverpool better? Like, how did you see it? Sam, did you watch the full game? I'm just presuming you've all watched it, but I'm just. What was your thoughts on the game?
First 30 minutes, I was like, Arsenal are going to absolutely batter these. They are just going to absolutely score 4 before the first half's over, and it's done with, and Arsenal are going to go on to win the league. And then they sort of took the foot off the gas, and Liverpool obviously got that goal just before half time, which is always the perfect time to score. You always want to score just before half time, just to put a little bit of doubt. Yeah. And in the second half, Liverpool were a better team by far, just absolutely dominated for the most part in the half. Probably should have scored about 3 or 4 goals as well. They obviously missed a penalty with Salah, one of the worst penalties I've ever seen in my life. I don't know what he was doing. Just passed it wide. Like, I don't understand that. Aaron Ramsdale with a fantastic save from the Salah shot.
Two saves.
And then the one with the Canate as well. So Liverpool should have won that game in that second half. They really should have won that game if not for Aaron Ramsdale and the missed penalty. But the last 30 minutes were just absolute madness, wasn't it? It was just all guns blazing. Liverpool trying to win this game. Fantastic to watch. I was hoping Liverpool would beat Arsenal just because I want to see Arsenal fans cry when they choke on not winning the league. Just watch them lose their minds. That would be fantastic. And obviously Liverpool have got fuck all to play for, haven't they? They're not making top 4. So it would have been better for everybody.
can we throw that question around? Because I want to hear what you guys think. Would you rather City win the league or Arsenal? Did you get the three-peat or you get AFTV on repeat?
City, I don't care. Doesn't matter to me.
Javert?
If City can win the league for the next 100 years, I don't care.
No.
Okay.
Just Arsenal can't win it.
No, exactly. Okay. I agree.
Arsenal can't win it. Yeah.
I feel weird for saying that, but then I see things online and I see like loads of the United fans saying like, "Oh, you can't have City do the three-peat beating a record."
Go to Aaron. Go to Aaron.
The record is twice, so they have to do it twice.
Yeah.
Because we did it twice, so.
But they'd be in that facility, like you know what I mean.
They need to win they need to win a Champions League, then they can be in that conversation.
They still can't chat to us if they win. So what if they win a three-peat? Like, yeah.
Yeah, man, I want Arsenal to win it.
Do you?
Yeah. Yeah, man.
State your reasons.
If the title's not coming, if it's coming to Manchester and it ain't coming to United, yeah, I don't want it straight up, and I don't want them three-peat, man. I don't care about these Arsenal fans. I don't watch that. I don't indulge in that shit. So it's like they can say what they want, man. I don't know. That stuff doesn't even find me. So it's like they can keep that on Twitter or whatever.
Yeah.
I have to deal with City fans, man, thinking that they're a big club.
Yeah. I think that's what it is, because I've noticed amongst most like Mancunians in particular, most Mancunians would prefer for like Arsenal to win it over City. But then for some of us, like when I grew up in Nigeria, it was literally just Nigeria. It was United versus Arsenal. That was it in the whole country.
Well, I grew up around the same period as Chivy, and like the main rivalry when I was a kid was Wenger, Fergie, Arsenal, United. That was the rivalry. Like City were nothing. City were nothing then. Like so.
City were nothing. Liverpool were nothing.
That's what bothers me more, though. That's what bothers me more. I can take a team with history. But City, man, they were. I remember when they were getting smacked by Middlesbrough and that. It's like, who do you think you are? Honestly, don't get me started on this one.
So that's. I think that's where the divide is for people. So for me, it's not even about like AFTV or whatever.
No.
It's nothing to do with that. It's just literally what me growing up, and then just all the kids and everyone just and Arsenal fans Nigerian Arsenal fans. Jesus Christ.
Are they next level? Are they next level? Like,
listen, the roasting, like.
Send me a link.
I'm scarred. Like the roasting that you get from Nigerian Arsenal fans, it's crazy. They're super extra. Like they would wear Arsenal jerseys to like church.
Oh my god.
Yeah, like it's not crazy. Yeah, if they win or something, it's. So I can't deal with that.
For us, though, it was a fantastic result, innit? I think both teams dropping points. If it could mean Arsenal crumble, and then Liverpool are obviously much further away from Champions League now as well. So it seems like it's kind of just becoming like Newcastle, Spurs, and United. We're going to touch on Van Dijk shortly, but the defending in that game as well from him was fucking atrocious, absolutely atrocious. Jesus had his number for most of the game, like. Awful, but yeah, happy with the result. We'll move on. I want to discuss some of the other games that went over the weekend and the relegation scrap and etc. Aston Villa beat Nottingham Forest 2-0, push up into 6th. By the way, I looked at the league table before. I was like, fucking hell, 6 points behind Spurs. How mad is that? Unai Emery doing a fantastic job, Sam.
Yeah, no, I said this when he came to Villa. I was like, they've got a manager way above their station. They don't deserve that level of manager. He is a very, very good manager. The fact that Arsenal fans hounded him out because of his accent and the way he pronounces words and mocked him for it. Like, do you know what I mean? The guy's a great manager. He's a fantastic manager. And he PSG treated him like shit as well. I think he's a really, really good manager. And yeah, Villa don't deserve him, especially after hiring Steven Gerrard. Like, you can get fucked after that.
Do you think it'll be a late push, Aaron, into Europa League spots?
Yeah, man, I think they've got a good enough manager. They've got a good enough team. They spent quite a bit of money as well, didn't they, Gerrard?
Yeah.
He definitely got some players in. So, and I don't know, man. I've always liked Villa. They are a pretty big club when you go through like the history of English football. As are Forest, but it's like, yeah, man. The only thing dampener that's put me against Villa now is Gabriel Bongoho. That is the only thing that.
Oh, don't. Don't.
Well, you got Gerrard and a Bonlahor both associated with that club now. So
how Chive feels about Nigerian Arsenal fans is how I feel about Gabriel Bonlahor. I can't stand that guy, honestly.
You've got a really good impression of him though as well. Like,
yeah, it's not hard. You just have to sound like an absolute dope from Birmingham who doesn't know what he's talking
Chivy,
about.
all you have to do is just turn your brain down about 3 decibels, you know, like midline, almost idiot level, and then you go, just put a Birmingham accent
and
then,
and then get some of if you got a cat or a dog, get some of their hair and stick it to your lip with that poo tash that he's got on there, and then just let waffle come out your mouth, and you've pretty much got Gabriel Bonlahor there. Villa, Europa League spot, Chive? Yes, no, maybe so.
Possibly. Funny enough, I actually have a soft spot for Villa because my cousin's from Birmingham and he's from Lozells, which is just across the road from Aston.
Is his name Gabby?
No.
Has he got the Nigerian heritage, Gabriel Bonlahor? Has he got the Nigerian?
He does, yeah. He's Nigerian.
Oh no, he's not a good representation for your country, mate.
Yeah. No. Yeah, but my cousin just from thing, and I remember when was it? I spent the summer there, and they played. They played in then, which was, it wasn't Europa then. It was, I forgot what it was called, but it was.
No idea.
Yeah, but they played Vienna, Austria, Vienna. I'll never forget that. Like at night, and they lost, and the Vienna fans were literally singing in the snow, shirts off, for like an hour. Yeah, it was crazy.
Love it.
But, but I don't really mind. If they make it, that's fine. If they make it over Liverpool, even better.
Yeah.
Absolutely, take that. Speaking as we get more towards the top 4, Newcastle and Spurs both won their games, so it's a good job we beat Everton. To be fair, top 4 race, is it nailed on? Is it City, Arsenal, Newcastle, United? Either way, is that how we think it's going to go, or could someone creep up into that top 4 spot? Any worries from any of you guys on that?
No, Spurs will bottle it like they always do. Because it's Spurs, that's what they do. Like, they can't complete anything, never mind a top 4 finish. So I think they ain't gonna test us. It just depends whether we finish 3rd or 4th. I think that's what it is. Do Newcastle finish above us?
And a gun to your head now, who finishes higher, United or Newcastle?
Newcastle, because I think Rashford, depending on the injury status, he's the only one scoring goals, and if he's gone for however many weeks, we struggle to score, and without him, it's going to be a lot worse. So I think we might struggle to put games away that we should.
Well, Spurs' next 5 games are in Bournemouth, Newcastle, United, Liverpool, and Crystal Palace. Quite a tough run in it. I know people might see Bournemouth or whatever, but they've actually been doing pretty well recently. Bournemouth, they're getting they're punching above the weight. Do you see them, Spurs? Are they any threat to you whatsoever?
Nah, I think they'll fall short. Especially now they ain't got like a nailed on proper manager. Is he from Conte's coaching staff?
Yeah.
The one.
Yeah, assistant one.
Conte. So it's going to be the same team atmosphere, and that I can't see if he's connected to that and they weren't doing well. I can't see him bringing them up anymore. I don't think they're consistent enough. The football that they play sometimes is dire, like awful. Yeah, man. I like when we come up against them, I'm not worried, and I think we'll finish 3rd. I think we'll finish higher than Newcastle.
So, Chivi, the way it's going to go into the summer is Spurs finish outside the Champions League and we get Harry Kane, right?
Hopefully, but yeah, I think top 4 is literally the way it is now. Arsenal, City, between us and Newcastle, and then for 3rd and 4th place. It doesn't really bother me, if we come 3rd or 4th, as long as we just make it in the top 4. I think we've still got Brighton to play, and we've got Tottenham to play, so that's a bit tricky.
Chelsea as well, wasn't it?
At home. Yeah,
I know
Chelsea
at Chelsea.
It could be
that.
That could be the last weekend of the season, because that's the only spot they can fit that fixture in if we end up in a European final. That's the only spot they can fit it. So
yeah, so yeah, and then I think who mentioned Rashford? Was it Sam?
Me.
Yeah.
I think, but having Rashford going, at least we've got Casemiro and Eriksen back, and Martial back as well, so it kind of softens the blow. But yeah, he'll be a big miss. It's a groin. I think he'll miss maybe like 2 or 3 games.
Really? I think he'll miss more. I think it'd be groin, because groin injuries usually 2 to 4 weeks, and then in worst cases it's 4 to 8 weeks as well. So I hope it's not, obviously, but yeah, I am slightly worried about it. The last one I want to touch on before we get into this stupid Jamie Carragher tweet, because I can't wait to dive into that. Make sure you smash the like on the video as well, by the way, and get your comments in. But just the last one I want to talk about is the relegation scrap. Now, there's 7 points between bottom of the table Southampton and 14th place West Ham. Wolves had a big win over Chelsea. West Ham beat Fulham. Bournemouth beating Leicester in a massive game, and then Palace absolutely slapping Leeds 5-1, which was just a weird game as well. Who do you think's going down, lads? Give us your 3 right now if you can.
I think Leicester might go down. I think Leicester.
It's looking that way, isn't it?
Sinking. Leicester are sinking without a trace. Like, I don't rate
really bad.
I don't rate Brendan Rodgers as a manager whatsoever. But the fact that they've gone for that Jesse Marsch and he's basically turned them down because of the shit show that they're in is worrying. I think they're trying to get in. Is it Dean Smith, the Villa guy? And Rafa Benitez, which, Jesus Christ, like your club's looking like it's on its way out, man. It's not looking good. Southampton are struggling. I don't know if the new manager can save him. I don't know if he's got it in him to save them. And then the other spots, I think it's an open race. I think Wolves will probably pull away just because of Lopetegui. I think he's got enough to pull them out of it. Bournemouth could still go down. Leeds could still go down. The third spot's very, very open. But I think Wolves will be all right. But Leicester, I could see Leicester going. I could definitely see Leicester going.
Mm-hmm. Aaron, what about Forest, Everton? Any of them teams getting into the mix at all?
I like both of them to go down, man. Jesse Lingard can dance on his way down to the Championship there, man. and Dean Henderson. Do you know what? I don't even have beef with Lingard. It's Dean Henderson, man. I can't stand that guy. That's the only reason I want to go
He'll
down.
be gone in the summer. He's not going back to the club.
They've got Keylor Navas. Imagine Keylor Navas in the Championship. What the fuck?
Is he on a permanent?
No, I think it's a loan deal, to be fair. It definitely won't be permanent if you go down.
It's like, get me out of here.
Yeah.
No, I think it'll be Southampton. Leicester, I think if they get Rafa Benitez, they stay up.
I agree.
Because do you know what? He is a good, as much as we all hate him, he is a good manager. And
he grinds results. That's what
Newcastle were lucky to keep hold of him all them years when they weren't doing nothing. Mike Ashley, I don't know what he had over Rafa Benitez, but he stayed in that job well too long, man. I think Forest, and I hope Everton go down as well.
Wow, absolutely going for. I want Everton to stay up, mate. I'm not just saying it because obviously we had Alex on the show recently, but I actually like Everton as a club. I don't mind him. I think Goodison Park, big fans and stuff, big club, but yeah.
No, I liked him. I did like him, and then when they got when they gave Frank Lampard the job, and he didn't get that job on no merit, man. He got it on his name. And if you were hiring him to get out of a relegation fight, he deserved to go down. So then Forest can go with Southampton for me.
I don't understand what Frank Lampard has done to get the jobs in management he has. He got Derby when they were 6, and guess where they finished underneath him? 6.
And they should have got promoted that year. Yeah. He bottled it.
And then he gets a Chelsea job because he's a Chelsea legend as a player. Fucks it completely. Goes to Everton. Fucks that. And I don't understand how he gets jobs. He's
back at Chelsea.
He's back at Chelsea. Like, I don't understand. I really don't. Like, if this was we said this in the group chat, if this was Ollie getting a job back at United or something like that, they'd be tearing him an arsehole. Absolutely tearing him his arsehole apart. But Frank Lampard, good decision. Really good decision there. He's just like, I don't.
Yeah, he's proper Chelsea, isn't he?
Yes, fucking idiots.
I want him to stay in the league just for the memes. The press conferences are so it's like, yeah, I don't know, but it's fantastic. It's great. Like, he's just like, what is this guy's on, man? He don't have a fucking clue, does it? Bless him. Chelsea, absolute mess over there. So I don't want to discuss them. But bottom 3. So Sam, who did you go with? Southampton, Leicester,
and who was the other one I went for?
Need 3. You said I think anyone could get into that scrap.
I'll go Leeds just because I don't like them. So
Southampton, Leicester, Leeds. Aaron, you said
Southampton, Leicester, and Everton.
And Chivy, you're saying
it stays the way it is now. Southampton, Leicester, Forest.
Interesting. I'll go Leeds, Leicester, Southampton. So I think we're going to go down. Let's see what happens. That is actually something that's more interesting than what's going on in the rest of the table, in my opinion. Like the amount of teams that could still go down, like that's going to go to the last day. That is only 8 games left, is there something?
Yeah.
So very interesting. Talking about things going down, things being put out. Jamie Carragher on Twitter today, unless you've been living under a rock, he's put a tweet out which has caused a slight bit of controversy, one might say. And the tweet reads like this: Virgil Van Dijk is far better than Nemanja Vidic, who was a top centre-back, but have you forgot his performances against Torres? Rio and JT had poor seasons in their career like all players. Virgil van Dijk is having one now. No centre-back in the Premier League era has ever had Virgil van Dijk's impact on a team. Never mind the best centre-back in the league, he's been the best player in the league, along with Kevin De Bruyne for 4 years before this one. We have never spoken about other centre-backs being the best player before. That shows the level he was at. Lads, your reaction to that tweet, please.
Can we just bring up how much Virgil van Dijk has won while he's been at Leicester? 1 league title.
Leicester?
At Leicester, sorry. I got Leicester on the brain. At Liverpool. 1 league title. How many did Nemanja Vidic have? 5. How many were them? 3 in a row as well, by the way. Consecutive. Mm-hmm. Champions League. I think it was 3 League Cups, I believe. And FIFA World Club Championship. And then the Torres record is complete bollocks as well. I think he scored, was it 2 goals against him?
3 times in 15 games.
3 times in 15 games. And he had his number. Like, what are we talking about?
I think Rashford scored 8 in 13 against Liverpool.
Fucking Gabriel Jesus, who's not even on fucking Fernando Torres' level, tore Virgil van Dijk a new one. He's a City reject who's gone to Arsenal, and he tore Virgil van Dijk a new one. I don't. It's 2 things. Is either A, he's saying it because he knows he gets clicks, he wants some attention, and he's trying to wind United fans up, which I wouldn't put past him at all, because he made that Lisandro Martinez comment and stuck by it for a long time as well. Remember, he did not let it go up until like fairly recently on a fan overlap thing where he finally admitted, no, he's a very good centre back. So I think that's part of it. The other thing is I don't know how he can look at that and not look at what Vidic has won, what he's done, the accomplishments he's had, and the way he was integral to that team, especially with Rio Ferdinand for United, and the impact he had. Virgil van Dijk's had 2 good seasons. 2. And they declared them the best team ever in the league. He declared them the best centre-back of all time. There's like 8 centre-backs before you, mate. There's John Terry's in there for a start. Like, not even United bias. John Terry's way before you. So it's just like, I don't know what he's doing other than getting clicks and getting people riled up, which obviously is working because everybody went absolutely mental. It's a deluded comment. Absolutely deluded comment.
It's funny, isn't it, Aaron? Because Jamie Carragher mentions there Vidic had bad games against a prime Torres, by the way. It's not like it was some stinker of a striker. But we've seen Van Dijk this season have shit games against Philip Billing, Bournemouth. Sam mentioned Jesus, Arsenal there. He was awful at Anfield against Madrid. I know Madrid are a good team, but he was absolutely shocking there. And he was shocking against Brighton. What's this narrative floating about the Van Dijk? Have you ever subscribed to the theory he is one of the best in the world and he is up there with the other centre-backs?
Yeah, I think when they were playing well and that, he was up there 100%. One of the like stats where he wasn't for like, was it 2 years or something? No one beat him no one beat him off the dribble and that.
Yeah.
So yeah, he is a good defender. Don't get me wrong. And on his day, he probably is probably in the top 5. But it's like, yeah, man, that statement is just bullshit. Like, you look at the comparisons of them. Like, I remember seeing it a few months back because this is a thing that's been on Twitter for a while now. Van Dijk against Vidic, and it was like Van Dijk's season, when they won the league, and I think it was Vidic's like 08 season, and he beat him in every stats, like clearances, tackles.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a bit of a myth, I think, and that Torres thing is a myth. Like, there was that one game where he had him on toast where he scored, and it was that picture, man. People like, I don't know, they create narratives in time because that picture goes around. Where Vidic was like on the floor, and did he drag him down for a penalty or something like that? Mm-hmm. And then that's marked on him. Then it's like, oh mate, I've been thinking about this all day, man. Carragher wouldn't know world class if it slapped him in the face. He played with 2 world class players probably at Liverpool, Michael Owen and Gerrard, and it's like, mate, his own goal record was like dog shit. It's just a take for like clicks and to get people riled up. He's trying to like deflect the narrative off Van Dijk, but all he's done is put him more under a microscope for me, because now everyone's comparing, everyone's jumping on it. But it is, man. It's like, I don't know. It's like one of them things in school, like, oh, my dad's harder than yours. It's like, come on, man. You're just trying to like bring up a total bullshit narrative of like, oh, my defender's better than yours, when they're in desperate, when they're in the mud. That's all it is.
I've got
where does he rank?
Sorry, Nick. I've got the stat here. Fernando Torres scored 3 goals in 15 appearances against Nemanja Vidic. That's fewer than Leandro Trossard, who scored 4 in his last 2 starts against Van Dijk at Anfield.
Yeah.
Trossard.
I mean. Like, the narrative...
Trossard, like, not even a fantastic player. Trossard.
The narrative can be painted, can't it, in certain ways.
This was the stat I was trying to tell you. Jamie Carragher has scored as many goals for Tottenham, own goals, as he did for Liverpool. Mate, don't ever talk to me about world-class centre-back.
Didn't Rio Ferdinand say that as well? He was talking about winning titles, and Ferdinand said, "Don't chat to me about winning titles, mate, when you've never done it." It was like tweets going back and forth.
Vidic averaged a trophy for United every 20 games. Carragher doesn't understand that language. He's like, he doesn't know about that.
Mm. Do you reckon that's where the bitterness is coming from?
100%.
It's clear bias. Like, it's just bias. Like, everyone knows that. Like, it's because he's saying it because he's a Liverpool player. Now, don't get me wrong. Van Dijk has been good, but the difference.
How good?
The difference here is that when you talk about like world class players, or when you talk about the greats or all that, it's consistency. They've done it over a consistent period of time. Nemanja Vidic was at United for 7-8 seasons, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he came in 2008. He left in 14. So
13-14 season, wasn't it? I think.
Yeah. So what's that? That's like 8 seasons.
Around there, yeah.
Yeah. And he was consistent throughout. I think he won 11 trophies in 8 seasons. He was a consistent player throughout. There wasn't any. He didn't have any season where he slumped or where he was absolute crap. I know towards the end of his time at United, like the last season,
his knees went, didn't they? His knees.
Yeah. The last half of the season, but then you could understand because of the age and all that. But if you're going to talk about, sorry,
and the way he played, like
exactly.
He put his body on the line all the time.
Exactly. If you're going to talk about like the age he was and compare it to Van Dijk's age at the same time, like there's no comparison, absolutely none. And I just know that that's just coming from a place of hate and just bias. And it's ridiculous. Like, and I'm sure Van Dijk wouldn't appreciate him tweeting that as well, because it just brings extra scrutiny on Van Dijk. Like he definitely wouldn't want it. Let's not forget what happened with when they lost 7-2 to Aston Villa. Was that last season? Like Van Dijk.
No, I think it might have been season before, yeah.
Yeah. You see what I'm saying? So it's like the season before. So he hasn't been plain sailing. He had 2 very good seasons at Liverpool, and that was it. Van Dijk has had Vidic has had a consistent run of fantastic years at Manchester United, and you want to compare the two. That's the thing. I think people nowadays just have this, and I've mentioned this before, this short-term memory where we just forget.
Biased.
Yeah, exactly. We just forget everything that's happened before.
FIFA generation, isn't it? It's the FIFA generation.
That's exactly
social media as well.
That's exactly what it is, and I think he's just trying to create some shock and awe and get people to talk about him and all that. Whatever his motive is, it's a very, very stupid take. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like Sam said, Van Dijk can't even measure up to John Terry in terms of footballing wise. So, you know, let's just allow it. Like, I never really took it serious. Like, I don't get triggered of things like that because it's ridiculous.
You know what though? It's not like Vidic was a big part player in them teams as well, or he was being carried. Like he was just in the spine of that team, and such a great team that was good and successful for so long. It's like, you know, if he was being carried, or he was like maybe a Johnny Evans or a Darren Fletcher. I'm not saying they're bad players or anything, but it's like they weren't vital. Vidic was instrumental.
Yeah,
Yeah, go on.
he came in. Yeah, he came in January. I remember that
Yeah.
clearly. Like,
With,
he came
is
in
it
January,
with
and everyone
Evra?
was like,
Is it him and
Yeah.
Evra came in January?
yeah, and then
Yeah.
everyone's like, "Who's this guy?" Because I remember him walking out the tunnel, and you know when they're walking out onto the pitch, and you can go, "Oh yeah, Ronaldo, blah blah blah."
Like,
blah.
who
And
fuck's
I just,
that?
and then, yeah, he walks out. Yeah, but then he came and then he straight in. And I think he had like a couple of games to settle down, but then but let's not even waste time on this one.
Like 7 million, I think he was from Spartak
Belgrade.
Moscow, which is
Yeah.
was it Belgrade? Was it?
I don't
Belgrade,
remember.
I think.
One of them ones.
Yeah, which again you consider that £7 million and what he did. Like you definitely got your fucking money's worth there, didn't you? Fantastic defender. Where does in just the last bit on this, and it's a very quick thing. Where does he rank? Where does Van Dijk rank for you then? If he's not in the conversation with these guys, does he rank in the top 10?
No, there's like 10 defenders ahead of him. Like he might make the top. He might make the top 15, but he don't make the top 10.
Aaron.
That's what I mean. I'm trying to think now. So I've got Rio, Vidic, no particular order. Rio, Vidic.
Just Premier League, by the way, as well. Not like.
Yeah. Terry.
Handball.
Company as well. Company's in there.
Company, yeah.
100%.
I don't want to add company in, but I'll add company in there. I was trying to avoid that one.
You can't not. Like I hate John Terry with a passion. Like I really, really hate John Terry. I think he's a cunt, but he's one of the best centre backs.
You know
in
what?
the league,
Yeah.
so.
When I was going through my head, all that was coming up was company. I was like,
You're like, no, not saying it, not doing it. I think Carvalho. I think Carvalho's better than him.
I was going to say.
I think Carvalho beats Van Dijk. Stam beats him.
Stam in there.
Campbell.
Sol Campbell. Yeah, very good. Very good. Tony Adams, longevity as well. Trophies won. 3 different decades. I was looking at this before I put a clip up. 3 different decades won a title with him. Which is just absolute madness. Any others? So are you all in agreement then?
You just say Maguire.
Barry Maguire.
You just snuck Maguire in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Number 8, Maguire.
I think. I mean, the 2-3 years that Van Dijk was really good. He was really, really good. I think he was on the Ballon d'Or list. I think
6 votes away from winning it.
Exactly. So
no one dribbled past him for 2 years, man.
That has to count.
That's crazy.
I think, yeah. But the only problem is you can't just be good for a couple of seasons. Like you have to be consistent.
Yeah.
That's my only argument.
It's longevity.
This season,
Longevity is what counts.
He gets to pass this season because was he injured this season or last season?
Last season. Remember, they were all wearing the shirts like he died. He's got fucking ACL injury, mate. He's not dead. Like he's still here. Like idiots.
You have to be consistent. Like if he comes next season and he plays the same way, he can't be mentioned in that bracket. I'm sorry, because even when Rio Ferdinand had the injuries and when he started, like when he got older and lost his pace, he adapted his game to So yeah, he has to do more to be mentioned in that list.
I think he's like 31, 32 now, isn't he, Van Dijk? So it's not as if he's getting.
Did he move when he was
younger.
27? Did they buy him from Southampton?
26, 27.
Yeah.
No, from Southampton was it?
Yeah.
Because there was Charlie Austin told the story on Talksport, said that when we went in for a centre back, I think it was under Mourinho. I think it might have been. We had a choice out of Lindelof and Van Dijk, and we went for Lindelof instead for 30 million. That's what Charlie Austin said. Because that was the time when he was at Southampton, so we knew like all the stuff that was going on. But yeah, very interesting. I was going to say very interesting debate, but you've all just put the debate to bed, so it's not an interesting debate. It's debate closed, if anything at all. Yeah, I think that's a perfect way to end it. We've silenced everything, any kind of. If there was any Liverpool fans in it saying, "What about this? What about that? What about that?" Shut up. We've already discussed it. Get back to bed.
One title in 30 years. Shut the fuck up and pipe down, for the love of Christ.
And also, I agree with Chivy as well. The 2 years where he was good, it's hard to, he was very, very good. But this season, yous have been absolute melts. So no need for any more discussions. You've melted. Lovely. That's a perfect way to end it, guys. Thank you for tuning in. If you're tuning in now, if you're tuning in later on, Make sure you drop us a follow on socials, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter, Real Reds Talk, and keep an eye out for the content this week as well. Very busy week. We've got a game against Sevilla on Thursday, so we'll have the preview on Wednesday. We've got a game against Nottingham Forest, is it, away on a Sunday? So the preview will be Saturday as well, and then loads of stuff like this kind of content. So make sure you subscribe, smash a like on the video. Thank you to all the lads who have come on. Chivy, Sam, Aaron.
Cheers,
Yeah.
lads.
Sound, love the reaction. And we'll see you guys in the next one. Take care of yourselves. Peace.
Cheers.